This is my review. I decided to I wanna I wanna make a video that has everything into one. Now I'm just going to tell you a scene that was cut from the film. That's only makes the unrated cut only 1 minute longer. It's basically this movie's about literally about puppets. And the team's called Team America, World Police, and this guy called Gary, who's a stage performer, who's a upcoming actor, very talented, gets recruited for this Team America team. Then he falls in love with this girl. Then he chickens out after he fucked up one mission and realized that he can't handle the stress. So there's some sort of time jump, but so the Team America will, pissed at him, and his girlfriend's heartbroken because he left the team. And anyway, he becomes a drunk, and this other drunk in the bar gives him a good old-fashioned. He gives him a speech that's basically foreshadowing, and he's like literally giving a speech on on thoughts on the world and society. But we're hearing this guy say it's very funny, and then hearing Gary say in the third act is actually it's actually very, in a way, hard for me. And so yeah, Gary, who is the main protagonist, makes the speech a little bit longer, and he puts. It was inspired by this drunk who he met in the bar, which was the same bar he got kicked out of because he was drunk. Gary, protagonist. So anyway, he starts to some time to reflecting and realizing that he kind of screwed up his own life, so he goes back to join the team because he misses everyone, including the love of his life. And there's a sex scene between them, a sex montage between them. And the sex montage goes a little longer when you see the puppet, who's Gary's girlfriend, having. God, this was so disgusting, I had to say. The thing that goes a minute long that's in the extended cut, which is not worth watching and not worth your money because it's only 1 minute long. It's probably the shortest extended cut it's the shortest extended cut I ever know of. And 1 minute, that's all they put on. Literally, that's all they put on. There was just 1 extra minute. And it's a scene where the extended sex scene between Gary and his love of his life. Now, the love of his life has an interesting backstory. She was in love with this man, and they were going to get married. But then on a Team America mission, he dies because he was part of the Team America crew. And I love how Gary decides to manipulate her because the only way to have sex with her if he promised he doesn't die. And he keeps that promise, but he didn't say he wouldn't quit. So he quits the team, then goes back to the team. And that sex scene that goes on extended a minute longer is basically his girlfriend literally pooping on Gary's, profanity to his face during sex. Yeah, I don't see what the point of that is. It's not funny, it's just a little gross. Very gross. So yeah, if you want to spare that thing that'll make you lose your lunch, just watch the theatrical cut. But if you're just curious, I can't say it's worth seeing the extended cut just as curiosity, like other extended cuts. Pretty much all of them I know of. You know, they're not always good. Most times very bad or forgettable, you know. And so yeah, even for curiosity's sake, it's just not worth your time. But if you want to own one or the other, just own the theatrical cut, because that one scene that's just a minute longer, it just feels, it makes it, it's just not worth it. I don't know, I don't think, I can't say I would recommend the extended cut for anybody. But it doesn't make it it's not bad, it's just not, it's, okay, maybe it is bad, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't have the answer to it's bad or good. It's just nauseating as that one thing. But if you can get past that part, which that makes you nauseous, or things don't bother you, then you probably just enjoyed the extended cut fine. I will stick to the theatrical cut, and I should recommend you, for those who've seen this movie or those who haven't seen the movie, just watch the theatrical cut. So anyway, Gary goes back to the team, then finds out the team hideout is all sabotaged and been blown up in pieces. The team's made it out alive, but they got captured by, bad guy John something, King Jong-un, and his henchmen, and his other henchmen are basically, his henchmen are basically every famous actor and not so famous actor in Hollywood, have them paid as a higher henchman, and hire all the ones in Hollywood, all the actors in Hollywood. And it turns out Bosley, who is the who's in charge of Team America, the boss, is still alive. Or it's a Boswood. So anyway, for order, see, here's how Boswood thinks that the only way to know if he's 100% committed to helping the team, if he has to literally swallow his pride and swallow and risk and put all of it on the line. But basically, Gary doesn't really understand what Boz was coming from. How sucking his dick will prove that, don't see what that will prove. And so Bob pulls up his pants and he says, "I guess you're just not ready. I guess you won't do anything to get everything back, Gary." So he realized that he's going to be allowed to help the team if he gives a blow dart to Boswood. And to show that he's 100% committed to the team, and that he will literally do anything. So yeah, he does it, and Boz will make sure that no one's looking. And so he gets Gary to his peak physical condition, and montage, and they make fun of this montage. They make playing this montage songs. That poke fun montage. Well, having montage. It was very funny. I found it, and also so anyway he goes out to help the team, and he breaks the team free from the prison, and he says, "Boss, what is listening is helping from the base," and they all still think Boss was dead and doesn't believe Gary, and then Boss confirms that he's alive, and by communicating on Gary's watch. Boswell explains to Gary, and it suddenly earns the team's trust back by proving that he's 100% committed to the team now. He proved it last night by sucking on Boswell's penis, and they all look like they all these gifts look like, you get this feeling that they all done that to prove that they had to get back on the team. At some point in their career, early career, I'm guessing. So they all decide to work together, and it's lots of action, lots of creative. I like how the Black Panthers are teaching these two from Team America, but considering that the puppets, they obviously use cats, black cats. So Team America is looking, the odds are this climax is getting, it goes on for a while, and Team America got the upper hand in the Jean-Claude U's King Jong-un henchmen, the actors and actresses from Hollywood, starting to get the drop of Team America. And I like how Gary could see past this actress's performance, because she could see that her skills are fading with her age, her acting skills. And then she goes on attacks on the Gary and his partner, who kind of hates him, and he felt like a fool because they could have sworn that she was telling the truth, and Gary's response, that's why it's called acting. And these suddenly start to perform a little respect to each other and start to like each other in the third act, and this girl this other guy that thought the actress was telling the truth, is now kind of a sort of a couple with this other girl who was into Gary, because she wanted to team up with him. So their relationship is coming. They basically kicked everyone else's ass and killed everyone, a bunch of actors and actresses and actors. King Jong-un's henchmen, basically. And speaking of King Jong-un also gets a little fleshed out in this film by having this one song that explains how lonely and a tragic figure he is. And it is definitely a moving song. Even though it's sung very badly by, it's a very deep and complex moving song. And very emotional. Even though he's the bad guy who's doing this terrible things, you understand, then you start to build some sympathy to him after you hear the song of how lonely he is in life. Because he doesn't feel like no one actually quite understands him, and because he's too intelligent, and and physically fit. Of course, the physically fit part I wouldn't say is true because he's fat. But other than it's good songs, and also it's a sad but very funny song. You start to sympathize with him, but you also understand that he's kind of delusional, isn't he? When he thinks that he's physically fit when he's not at all. This happens after he kills a guy and feeds him to fishes. And so Team America gets the drop on John, gets the upper hand, but then the entire crowd of each country, the crowd has the stand. Kim Jong-un has Team America outsmarted, and so does Alec Baldwin, who works for Kim Jong-un in his timeline. In this movie, these people who are the crowds stand for each country they're from, of the states of each state they're from, basically a state or country. So Gary needs to being pretend needs to outact Alec Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin character actually does make a good point about Team America. Says that they're just as bad and as dangerous as the people as the Team America fights, because he worked for a greed corporation, and Gary ejects that by saying, "Oh no, we're not. We're dicks." Saying they are reckless, arrogant, stupid dicks. So remember that speech that he got from the drunk in the bar? Well, this is it where Gary says it in the third act. So you see his character starts to come full circle. It starts to come around, it starts to develop, and he really makes a lot of development. Well, he really does start to become more of a changed man once he says his speech. By realizing that he feels like he's just boiling up all this anger and saying all this angry. He feels like when he says all the speech, he feels like he's been boiling up all this anger inside of him for years. That was from the worst day of his life, which we never know what it was, but we're guessing somebody died. So, and that's how he performs his acting skills. So he says, after he says Team America are reckless, arrogant, stupid dicks, he says the film actor skills are pussies. And Kim Jong-un is an asshole. And explains that pussies don't like dicks because pussies get fucked by dicks, but dicks also fuck assholes. Assholes who just want to shit on everything, basically like terrorists. And sometimes the dicks get so full of shit that they become assholes themselves, because dicks are only an inch and a half away from assholes. And sometimes it takes a pussy to show him that. And so he ends the speech by saying, I might know nothing about this crazy, crazy world. But I do know, if you don't let us fuck this, we are going to have our dicks and pussies all covered in shit. And he has this really intense look, like holy crap, he has made this really speech that sounds absolutely badass, and a better speech than MCU's Captain America, which he makes a speech that MCU's Captain America wish she could make, leading up to Endgame, Avengers Endgame. And let's see, from Captain America for the first friends, all leading up to Captain America and Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Gary actually makes a speech that comic book Captain America could actually make, and not what MCU's Captain America wish she could make. And so we let them do their, the crowd applauds and lets them do their job to take down King Jong-un, and King Jong-un kills Alex Baldwin, and turns out King Jong-un is actually a cockroach from another planet. And he climbs out of King Jong-un's mouth of the cockroach and goes to his ship and flies away, teasing that, and it's kind of how it ends. It feels like this could have been a franchise. And he sings how useless that Baldwin was, and that one day he will return. King Jong-un will return one day, and probably if they ever made a sequel to this. But it's been a while since the film came out. So it's 2004 when it came out, and it's 2020 now. So shouldn't say the odds are very slim, but you never know, because Bad Boys 2 came out in 2003, and they made a sequel to that in 2020, so maybe there might be a sequel to to Team America World Police, and I wouldn't mind seeing. I would kind of love it if they did that, make this into a franchise. So yeah, I'm giving Team America 10 out of 10, and I'm going to give the extended cut a 9 out of 10 just because of that scene I mentioned earlier. That makes the film a million long, and it doesn't feel like it's like I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels less like a movie, like an actual film. When with that 1 minute longer scene that's in the unrated cut. And that's all.